matchup on Wildcard Weekend is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Ravens and the Texans coming up next.
Well, the summer humidity has abated, the roof is open, and it's time for football at NRG Stadium here in Houston, Texas. Tonight, it's the AFC's turn to take center stage as we've got a wild card matchup on tap, as it'll be the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Houston Texans. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the postseason on EA Sports. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gautin. And Charles, that's really all I need to say to get you fired up. It's the postseason on EA Sports.
And no one's more fired up than the guys who are going to be playing in this game. This is what they fought for all year long. Go back to the OTAs, the mini camps, training camp, throughout the season to get to the playoffs. Intensity level will be off the charts.
It's the first of 6 games here on Super Wildcard Weekend, and we are underway on EA Sports. And they will elect to not bring this one out as our first drive will begin at the 25. Number 8, Lamar Jackson, trotting onto the field at quarterback, ready to lead this Ravens offense.
Let's face it, it doesn't matter if you're a rookie free agent or a 15-year vet. Guiding a team to victory on the road in the playoffs, that's no small feat. And it's going to be really important for him to play mistake-free football. But equally important, create some big plays as well to give his team confidence that they can win.
Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. A tough season for them to this point, and here's part of the reason why. You see the injuries have left them shorthanded in prior weeks, and that's the case again here in this one.
Brandon, great teams can overcome injuries and keep their seasons on track, but sometimes even the great teams have injuries that are just too numerous, or they affect the wrong group of guys, the guys who actually lead their ball club, and it's just tough to get past them. This team struggling with that.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked by Jeff Okudah. And a terrific return as he brings this one all the way back to the 30.
Brandon, I wonder if someone's down there checking on the head coach right now because he might be in a little bit of shock after what just transpired. Instead of a lengthy opening drive to deal with, his guy stepped up and stole that drive away. Momentum on their side now. How will they attack on offense?
So out come the Texans in great starting field position. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
And as we continually grade players, especially quarterbacks, how about this young man? Second year in the NFL, guided his team into the playoffs, and now he wants to show the world that they should buy in on him because he wants to evolve from that young quarterback to that true team leader that takes his team deep in the playoffs.
That is caught by Dell. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. And about 20 yards on the pickup. But officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. They'll run it for the first time with Damian Pierce. A nice display of power, but it only takes him to the 7. He's dropped there. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Now 2nd and 6.
Stroud. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Kyle Hamilton picks it, and the Ravens are going to get the football back at their own 17. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points no matter what. At worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
And the Ravens taking the field. They bring the 5 seed into the playoffs. Of course, they're one of the wildcard teams. And when you're a wildcard team, it makes it a little bit tougher. You have to win the extra game. But there's been a precedent set of teams doing that successfully in the past.
And it's usually teams that have aspects that really jump out at you and it really factors in the playoffs. I mean, Pittsburgh, they run a heavy run game with Jerome Bettis when they won in 2005. And then don't forget the Giants in 2007. That season, pass rush. Remember how big that was for them during the playoffs. And for Green Bay, it was the quarterback playing Aaron Rodgers. So to me, it's a matter of what's going to affect the game in a big way. Can that aspect of your team really make those plays? A lot of times it's pass rush and quarterback play.
16 yards on that one and a Raven first.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it's 2nd down.
At the 39-yard line.
To throw again is Jackson. Open man is Duvernay. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a 1st down. And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well run.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know. Defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. He's got his man. It's Andrews. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. Jackson from the shotgun. Able to find the complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 33 yards that time.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. His throw incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But this defense gets 2 more stops. They can keep them out of that area.
On 2nd down, here's Mitchell. And they'll get him down right about the 20. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Now it's Jackson. And that'll be taken in by Andrews for a Ravens touchdown.
Touchdown, Baltimore.
A 20-yard touchdown. And the Ravens will strike first here, this wild card matchup. Good bounce-back drive right there through the pick on drive number 1. Drive number 2 leads them right down the field into the end zone.
Agree totally. Excellent bounce back, tremendous poise, confidence never lost, and obviously he transmitted that to his teammates as well. What a really nice drive.
Tucker with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it's Mark Andrews who finishes things off with a touchdown reception. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. So now we get set to see Houston for their 2nd drive of the ball game. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Stroud to throw it. To the right side and caught by Dell. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. First and 10, it's Pierce. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game. And that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Stroud on 3rd down now. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Justin Matabike gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also 4th down now.
Well, many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
As Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away. That's pulled in at the 32. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Jackson. Well, he short arms that one just a bit. It's low and incomplete.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, right?
Absolutely frees up your guys elsewhere. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Jackson. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
Good clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get him off the field with a 3 and out.
And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Houston set to take over. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully punts.
And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Stroud now on 2nd down. Over the middle, that's caught by Mechie. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for the first down. Give to Pierce now on the option. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain, so you can use that to set up your play-action game. Or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. Option right, here's Stroud. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe. And hold on here because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. 2nd and 6. Play fake. Cousins. It's caught downfield by Mechie. Touchdown, Houston. John Mechie. 50 yards. And the Texans are an extra point away from evening this one up. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
With the extra point, and we are tied at 7. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And it was all capped off by a John Mechie touchdown reception. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 24. Drive starts with a give to Mitchell. And he stopped immediately there. Tackled by the cornerback, Derek Stingley. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. To throw is Jackson. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end Andrews. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. His 4th catch already in this first quarter. It's a first down.
It is fun to watch the big man work the middle of the field. How about that post route there? Did an excellent job of getting his head around to look the football in and gain significant yardage.
Now Jackson on first down. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
But we certainly had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what we heard, I like what we did, but we definitely need more pressure on the quarterback this week.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Our score after one. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Jackson options out left. And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 43-yard line.
From the gun, a give to Mitchell. Sheds off the tackle. He's still on his feet. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Elijah Mitchell, 43 yards. And the Ravens have taken the lead.
You get in a 2nd and long situation down here in the red zone, I'd say most defensive coaches would think pass, let's bring some pressure. So this is kind of a tendency breaker here to hit him with something on the ground, and he'll take it all the way into the end zone.
Tucker now for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. That time a 6-play drive. And a long run there in the end to top it off. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Houston offense running back out, and we'll get another look at John Mechie. He's been good so far to this point in the second quarter. Need to get him even more involved, maybe?
I would agree with that. Definitely. Yeah, it's not even a question for me. The way he's playing, he's doing a nice job. Increase things. More touches, more opportunities. Maybe that can reverse things on the scoreboard for them.
We'll try to ratchet things up then maybe here in the second quarter. Here's Cousins. Throw left side complete. That's Pierce. And he's able to get out to the 32. Brought down there.
Brings up 3rd and
1. Pierce will try to pick it up. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. First down, they go right back to Pierce. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
Cousins to throw it. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Williams.
That was a nicely run slant route. And what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Throwing, Cousins. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on second.
I think you saw the same thing that I did there, partner. Remember, he's their backup quarterback, so the last thing they need is to lose another one right here on the sack. Looks like he's going to be okay, though.
Yeah, he looked like he was favoring something in the left leg. Appears to be fine now, but you're right. That O-line, they got to protect him. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Throwing is Cousins. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down. working out of the gun. Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down. So after 3 drives and 3 touchdowns combined between these two clubs, finally we get a defensive stop.
Yes, and welcome to the party, defensive players. And glad to have you, because for a while there, it almost felt like it was 11 going downfield on air. Okay, so to be able to have someone come up, make a stop, now we got a football game going.
So possession goes over here on the punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. They'll start with a run by Mitchell, and he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 8 coming from the 19. An option give now to Mitchell. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy.
Holding offense.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Right back to Mitchell here. And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. It'll be a gain of about 5, but they're left with a 3rd and still about 12 to go. Now Jackson. And that will be incomplete.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield in man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
And now the punter Tress Way as he sends this one away. Take it at the 37. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And the Texans will take over. And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans. And they had a long drive going last time, but it stalled out. But still, maybe something positive to carry forward from that last drive.
Well, a few different things that you carry forward. Number one, as you noted, they were moving it pretty well, so that gives them a lot of confidence. The second part is, keep your defense off the field, gives them a chance to rest up a little bit. And last but not least, you've taken a good look at what you've done on offense, noted where the weaknesses are, and you know when you want to come back to them.
Like when you're organized with your points. Well done.
A, B, and C.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. The Texans on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Cousins. Hard throw, incomplete.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his 2nd drop of the game. Ravens offense getting set and ready for this next drive. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. They go play action with Jackson. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down. So a failure to connect on 2nd down. That leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Play action. It's Jackson. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Now this defense will give up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one right there, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Houston's offense taking over again. Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
On second down, here's Pierce. And he'll take this to the 32, a gain of about 3. Here's 3rd and 7.
That's a gain of 3. It's 3rd and 7.
Now Cousins. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Pierce takes it straight ahead, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 44-yard line.
And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory.
Good running right there. And this is a man who's a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season, so you know he's going to get his chances, and he picks up nice yardage on that one.
They go play action. Cousins. The throw here right sideline falls incomplete. Out is Rigoberto Sanchez on 4th down to punt this thing. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Ravens ready to take over. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides. But sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Mitchell now off the option. And all this Texans defense, they're all charged up now. They stop him behind the line for the 2nd straight play. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Throwing is Jackson. And that's incomplete.
Well, he certainly didn't like what he saw at all from the coverage on his primary reads, and he didn't even have any luck trying to get back to his safety valve. Give defensive credit. Coverage was in lockdown mode everywhere.
He's got his target. That's complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
And that's a much-needed completion right there on 3rd down. Really a sigh of relief, isn't it? They're backed up deep. You know they don't want to give the ball back to the other guys. A great field position. They needed that throw, that completion, that first down.
2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. Coming up at the half, we remind you that we're going to do what we've done all year. We'll get you down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. Coach will have the lowdown on what's going on here in this wild card weekend as we begin the road to the upcoming Super Bowl. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. To throw again is Jackson. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because any completions on 1st and 2nd down, they got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Texans set to come onto the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. This ball caught by Mechie. And he'll be dropped at the 36. It's a good gain of 18 on a play that originated back at the 18. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
He already came through for them on this drive. No surprise that they were hoping he could do it again.
They'll throw again. Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Cousins. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. The Raven offense going to take over late in this first half. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Michael Davis. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
So first thing first in my mind is, why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely. And from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
The Texans with the football here late in this first half. And now they start in plus territory following that turnover, as they'll try to get some points here before halftime. That is caught by Dell. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Call that a very strong gain of 24. To throw, Cousins. Man open left side, it's Williams. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Ball on the 8, it's 2nd and 4. Cousins now. Taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to it. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. To throw is Cousins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Pierce. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. The kick by Gold is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. Well, still some climbing left to do to get back to even, but forcing a turnover and getting the field goal there, that's a small step toward erasing the early deficit.
Absolutely. That interception field goal, that's the beginning of what they hope will be several steps towards erasing that deficit and building a lead of their own by the time this game is over.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
He'll take the knee, and the final couple seconds will tick by in this first half. So we're at halftime. halftime of this AFC Wildcard matchup as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, BG, thanks very much. The playoffs are underway. What a weekend this is going to be. Super Wildcard weekend. This, the first of 6 games set to be played. We'll get back out to you guys in just a moment. But first, let's remind everybody what's coming up tomorrow in the AFC. We've got the 3-6 game, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins squaring off against the Buffalo Bills. It was running back Elijah Mitchell who stood out in that first half. He had a touchdown run that helped get his guys this halftime lead.
Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. Both teams try to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wildcard game. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. First down, here's Cousins. Able to hook up with Williams here on the out route. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
At the 28-yard line.
Now Cousins. Swings this one out wide for Pierce. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. It's complete to Williams. And he is going to have the Texans first down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Cousins. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field. It took away his intended read and almost dared him to try for his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
Meanwhile, Cousins' throw complete into the hands of Schultz here. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a first down.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Off the play fake, Cousins. He's got it to Williams. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the Ravens' 47-yard line.
Pierce now up the middle. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2.
Brings up 3rd down and 2.
Going for it with Pierce. And some room to work. And he is going to have the Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have felt like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game. From the red zone now, Cousins. Gets the dump off to Pierce. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Cousins. Oh, it's intercepted. A drive killer there. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens are going to have great field field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Now it's Jackson. That is caught. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. His second catch of this wild card game, and it goes for a first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2.
To throw is Jackson. That one into the hands of Flowers. That one a first down pickup of 8. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme, and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Here's Mitchell with a catch out of the backfield. Short completion, just 4 yards. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3. Now Jackson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Mitchell will take this into the end zone. It's a Ravens touchdown.
And you can forgive this defense just a bit here. They know how dangerous Lamar Jackson is running the football. Stopping him is in many ways a prime concern. So here, they're late to react to the handoff on the option, and it costs them as this winds up a touchdown.
Tucker now to add the point after. It's good, and it's 21-10. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. They were trying to create some space to run. They created the penalty.
And you work on it so much. You work on it so hard. But it's tough to simulate game speed in practice. And that often runs you into a penalty.
That's on Shaq Mason, the guard. A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. Running it out of the gun with Pierce. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. He'll get 3 of those penalty yards back here, leaving him with a 2nd and 12. Now Cousins. Throw left side complete. That's Schultz. So give him 2 yards there on the completion. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
3rd down and 10.
Here's Cousins. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
It's fielded at the 45. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Well, this offense and Elijah Mitchell coming back onto the field now. He is hoping to find the end zone for a third time, and we sit now in the third quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men.
They go play action with Jackson. That's caught. It's Flowers. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. 3 yards is the gain that time, second and goal.
At the 4-yard line.
A shotgun handoff to Mitchell. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Elijah Mitchell saving his best for the playoffs with his third touchdown of the game. And the Ravens continue to pull the playoff surprise as they lead big here on the road.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here, because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead is up to 18 now. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
And Pierce gets it again on 2nd down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 1 quarter remains for the right to survive round 1 here in the AFC. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Houston. Here is 3rd and 5. It's Texans football, but they trail here as we get started in the 4th quarter. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach, trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that's incomplete. incomplete.
Intended for number 87.
Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game. And that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them, holding them under 200 today.
The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. If this game continues the way it's gone, it'll be, well, somewhat of an upset. 5-4, not huge, but still the big thing, winning on the road to stay alive. Pretty big deal.
Man, when you pointed out that 5-4, first thing that flashed through my head was college basketball. When they get to their tournament, right?
Yeah, like the 8-9 seed first-round game.
Right, you always look at that before you start your brackets, don't you? And you got to figure out which one you're going to pick, that 9 seed over the 8. And sometimes even that 7-10 game feels the same way. Not much difference between the two teams. Give them a lot of credit, though, for going on the road and getting it done in this one.
Yeah, that's a difference. NCAA tournament, neutral site here on the road and putting some people on notice. They'll run with Mitchell. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
A pickup of 2. Brings up 2nd and goal.
Jackson. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Ravens are able to stretch out their lead.
Look, we all know that sometimes we see upsets in the wild card round, but I have to tell you, in this case, I did not see that coming.
I don't think anyone in the stadium saw it coming. You and I were coming in before the game. There was a couple in front of us talking about travel plans for next weekend. They might want to cancel those.
Yeah, I would say so, because right now it's looking more and more like they're going to be one and done. They're probably trying to call the hotel and make sure they get their security deposit back.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Saying their fans here are stunned would be an understatement. Things in this wild card round have not gone according to plan. On 1st and 10, Cousins. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith, and he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play it straight, do all the right things, but these guys are going to be freewheeling now. All of them are going to take chances, and that one pays off with an INT and a return for 6.
Tucker with the extra point, and this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And you can sort of sense their dejection. That last pick 6 put the icing on the cake, so to speak, in what has been a rough go for them. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw, Cousins. It's caught downfield by Mechie. Well, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Throwing, Cousins. And this is incomplete.
That incompletion brings us one step closer to the end of this one. Maybe mercifully, partner. And let's face it, though, no surprise, they're still flinging it around. They have pride, too.
A run for Pierce out of the gun. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he takes us just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out.
23-yard line.
On play action, Cousins under a heavy rush, and down he goes. O'Shane Ximines in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Now Cousins. He's got his man. It's Pierce. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up. Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. And that play, it wound up losing yardage.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. David Ojabo able to get him down for a loss of 11, and it brings up 4th down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And the 3rd interception thrown by Cousins. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And he will take it across midfield and down to the 45. The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
So it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. 1st down, here's Mitchell. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
123 yards rushing for him now as his sensational afternoon continues. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Once again, it's Mitchell. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
A gain of a yard brings up 2nd and 9.
Jackson, options out left. He'll get it to the 23-yard line. The keeper there good for about 9, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and inches.
It's a gain of 9. Makes it 3rd and inches.
They'll try and pick it up with Mitchell. And he will have a Ravens 1st down, as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches.
Brendan, every great running backs coach that I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves, you're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about running them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
At the 7-yard line.
From the gun, Jackson. And that'll be taken in by Andrews for a Ravens touchdown. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Ravens add 6 more to their point total, and they're on cruise control right now here in the 4th. Well, Charles, just impressive in all 3 phases. Offense, defense, special teams have really done their job. And here the offense doing its part yet again with another score in the fourth quarter.
I know it seems like something we shouldn't do because the scoreboard does tell it all, but let's set it aside for a moment. This game was absolutely memorable with how they played it. Really terrific effort, really well executed. Congratulations to them.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Houston offense running back out, and we'll get another look at John Mechie.
They might want to mix something up defensively because he's been shredding them a bit, hasn't he?
That he has, and even with all the changes that you know are going on the defensive side of the ball, he's still finding ways to get open, finding the right spots, and the delivery's been pretty good too.
He's over 100 yards, has the one touchdown score to this point.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Throwing is Cousins.
Taking a shot for Dell here.
And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
On 3rd down, here's Pierce. Powering forward. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Houston. This is fielded at the 27. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Ravens offense now, they get ready to head back on the field.
Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate, but we'll see what they decide to do as they come out with this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
On 1st down, they go back to Mitchell.
And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So from just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd and 9. On 2nd down, here's Mitchell.
And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48.
They'll see about converting this 3rd and 8.
It's a gain of a yard, and it's 3rd down.
Now a man who played high school ball here in LaGrange, Texas, J.K. Dobbins.
And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line, well short of the first. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out, and he is going to need to bomb this one. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And Tucker, the former Longhorn, puts this one through, and that will extend their lead even further.
So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
The Texans back out there and ready to go.
They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
Charles, on the losing side of things, you know, they didn't come in here as the favorite to these playoffs, but they came in with a lot of hope and anticipation. Tough to have that all snuffed out so quickly.
It really is. You're one of 12 teams when the playoffs begin that still has a chance to win the Super Bowl. So that's pretty darn good. And as you often talk about, a lot of hope when the playoffs start. Well, that ended for them. But when they look back, they'll have a lot to be proud of and see if they turn the page towards the next season.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. So long from Houston.